Welcome to Nerds Who Get Laid.
Sometimes. 200th edition.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I forgot about this.
Guys, we have a huge show for you. Actually, we don't.
Well, no, it's going to be long.
We have a lot going on. We just don't have anything real special.
No, it's because we're collectively communists, and we like every episode to be consistent.
Yes, nothing
and
gets anything
better than the other.
That's the truth. Guys, everyone here knows about the Ben Swallow memes going around.
Yeah, I do now. I officially know what they are now.
It's been literally the thing that got me through this hellacious week of retail. Just seeing that overly stretched out bod with just the best things on top of it. If you don't know, listener, what Ben Swallow is, do yourself a favor, because I can't stop saying Ben Swallow. It's just so fun.
Yeah.
It sounds like like an Indian taxi cab company, Ben Swallow.
My favorite's the Lego one, though.
That was really good.
That was phenomenal.
I appreciated the WWE one Nathan sent out.
WWE, mine was the easy. That's no moon. It's just Ben Swallow. It's so stupid, and that's what I just keep looking at. I'm like, this is so stupid.
It's funny too because it seems like I saw a few of them when the movie came out, but it seems like a few weeks later now is when they've really hit and skyrocketed.
They had to like fine wine. I had to ferment for a while and let people
had to air a little bit.
Yeah, they're up on the meme economy right now.
They are. Invest in Ben Swallow because it's only got about another week, and
it's going to crash like Litecoin.
Yeah, especially when any kind of corporate company wants to like hop on the bandwagon,
buy into it.
Yeah, it becomes fellow kids territory, and then you got to ditch it.
Yeah. So, but it's it's been one of the best. Other than that, did everybody have a pretty good Kwanzaa?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Kwanzaa's actually today.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm asking if you had a good Kwanzaa because
it's still going on. Kwanzaa miracles can still happen. For everybody else for Christmas, I think everyone had a pretty good. I had a pretty good Christmas. That was your Hanukkah,
great Christmas, man.
Hanukkah was all right. No one really got me any coins. Money's usually.
Did you light the menorah?
No.
Did you all have a party and then dance the hora?
Did you get at least one dreidel?
No, I didn't get anything. I didn't even light any candles. I just I've been pretty bad with all religions.
With being Jewish.
So I'm going to go to nowhere. But with that being said,
you're going to go to your local museum or library and worship information.
Yeah, the holidays were good. I got a couple days coming off this week, so I'm going to really
2 days.
No,
every week.
Yeah, 2 days now. I got 6 days coming up, so I'm going to relax.
Nice.
Just do it. Mike and Ray just had nice staycations,
and then you had a vacation like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, before that, I vacated all the time. Did you guys get together at all? Like, you both on vacation?
I didn't do anything hardly. No, we went over to Jacksonville to look at IKEA just for the shit of it because we haven't been over there, and we went to Gainesville. There? Yeah, we had lunch there, and then we had dinner at the Ice House in St. Augustine. That was really nice.
You have to have lunch when you go to IKEA.
Lunch at IKEA, and
the Swedish meatballs do.
Dinner at Lowe's.
At the food trucks. Yeah. Mike, what about you? Did you do anything interesting on your...
I did a couple things. I went to a brewery.
Brewery. How better?
Yeah.
No, I went to Blackadder in Gainesville. Not bad at all. It's by the Oaks Mall, so it's not a far jaunt into downtown.
Where's that one at?
By the Oaks Mall?
By Books A Million.
Really?
Oh, okay. I hear there's like about 1 million books there.
Where Yamato is.
Really? That joke worked for
you? Actually, it's just one Kindle now. But it's really good. They got Founders on tap. I've told Nathan multiple times, but I can't seem to get a response. He's just like, meh.
I said we can go. I mean, we've only talked about it twice. It's not like this is 3 months later.
Well, if you were serious, you would go.
Yeah, fuck.
You would have already been.
I guess we should have went today. I dropped the ball. So
I thought you liked Founders.
I do.
Road trip, guys.
Road trips.
Other than that, I pretty much stayed at home. my mom got a pretty severe case of pneumonia, so I've been kind of taking care of her while my old man's at work.
I don't know. I was just like pneumonia, like, oh, Michael, oh, I'm gonna moan at you.
Tasteless.
That's a terrible joke.
Tasteless.
My mom would probably never moan at me. Hopefully.
I didn't mean in the sexual way. Yeah. You went there, sir.
Get out
You
of my
went
head.
there.
I know. I'm just saying,
Get out
you're
of
the
my
one.
head.
I didn't say anything about it being
Get out of my
sexual, but you did, and
Get out of my
you fucking
out of my head.
touched Charles as a funny boner over here. Apparently,
TJ's just mumbling to himself right now.
Close my
About it.
eyes.
there's some Wincest over there for Chuck. Apparently, I guess, but. Unfortunately, I had a bunch of stuff planned, but I got my hot toys organized in my closet. That's pretty good.
That's a win.
That's a win.
Listen, NerdOn's coming up in a second. Don't jump ahead.
Don't
All right,
spoil
let's go to
everything.
NerdOn because he's already fucking started.
Get your nerd on. 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 Get your nerd on.
Sorry that if you were listening, all the animal noises that were going on, apparently we're next to a hen house. Only one cock in this. This is Nerd On, where we go over what we've nerded out on the past week.
Boners.
And for the last of the year, so hopefully everyone really just sent 2017 off with the gracious nerdisms. Ray, go ahead and kick us off there.
Well, I finished up Gifted. It's okay.
That's a good program for elementary school children.
It's okay.
what grade did you get?
Well, this kind of goes into. Let me talk a little bit first about the Christmas presents I got, because then I'll go into some of the things I nerded
Well, I'm
out
saying,
on.
let me guess. Was the Gifted season finale a Christmas episode?
No, it wasn't.
Where they were all gifted presents?
I got a whole entire run of X-Men 2099.
Nice.
Which is awesome and so
Cheapest
obscure.
comic book gift ever.
Exactly.
Spent like $250 on it. It was awesome.
So I have all of that now. So as one of my nerd-ons, I started reading all of X-Men 2099.
So
I'm sorry.
So how is it when the 1990s think 100 years in the future? is it as good as you think?
It's just as extreme as you think it would be.
Is there somebody made entirely of pouches?
Yeah, shoulder pads, though.
There are tons of shoulder pads, lots of just fabric in
Lots
places.
of female executive outfits.
Power suits.
Power suits, yeah. People made of metal.
Mysterious.
I got 2 Legos. I got my Bounty Hunter Legos.
Just 2
That's an
Legos?
awesome set.
You got 2 pieces?
And I got the Millennium Falcon Lego set. So, which is
Oh,
pretty fucking
Which
cool.
one?
How did I not hear about
Nice.
this?
Okay, I was like,
I've seen that.
Ray with the old nerd dad joke.
It's a 20-piece Millennium Falcon set.
And
Lego
you still
set.
haven't even put it together.
And I haven't
You
put
could
it
have took a
together
shit today. You could put it together right now while you talk to us.
There was something on Reddit I saw where some dude had the big one, and his wife was like, "Oh, I'm gonna drop it." I'm running to actually dropped it, and so he posted it to Twitter and tagged Lego. He's like, "Look what my wife did," and they're like, "You should thank her. Now you have the joy of putting it back together
oh
again.
my god.
Nope.
Hell corporate.
Oh,
the
gosh.
win.
Glue that shit together,
Yeah.
Craggle style."
I had throughout the whole year, I had 6 comics that I wanted to buy this year. That was my goal.
Nice.
It wasn't my nerd year's resolution. It was just a goal that I made for myself. I hadn't bought any of them by Christmas, but Allison got me Avengers 196, which is the green one with Taskmaster on it and everything.
Nice.
So that's one of the 6 that I had wanted. That was really cool.
chores. Whip. I'm Taskmaster. Shine my shoes, bitch. It's the Taskmaster.
It's kind of like Mr. Mackey from South Park.
Iron Man, get me some Chinese takeout.
I got a rucksack for
Cause
our
I'm the Taskmaster.
for our Iceland trip. A new radio for my Jeep, which is pretty exciting. A
Is
Star
it a
Wars.
touchscreen
Tape.
radio?
It is.
What?
Does
Tape
it shoot out of the dash?
No.
Tape deck.
Take that one.
8-track.
Tape track. Tape deck. 8-track.
Found the credence.
I got a Star Wars print from Allison, which was pretty cool. I got some other paint stuff from Nathan and my sister Bree for putting together stuff that I haven't put together yet.
Fucking biggest mistake I ever bought. Thought I was investing
Still
in
not put together
my own
yet.
future.
I got the Blood Rage 5-player expansion, so now we can play 5-player Blood Rage since we haven't even played 4-player Blood Rage.
Good call.
Good investment.
I play Blood Rage every time I eat Mexican food.
Okay. I thought he was going somewhere with this.
I got the expansion.
Period, pussy? Is that what you meant? Chuck? We'll be a Blood Rage too.
I didn't say it. That's what I was
Oh,
thinking.
I wasn't referring to menstruation. I meant the grammar period. I meant that period. So go on, Ray. I'm sorry. I wanted to clarify an addendum there.
I got a expansion to Rebellion, Star Wars Rebellion, which we
Haven't
have
played
not
it.
played yet.
This is like This is like
I'm seeing a theme.
this is like all the detox
He's
and hot
hoarding
toys I have
Yeah.
that are just in my closet.
I got
you
a
want to see some
I
brown
got an
chippers?
expansion
Come in here.
to Marvel Legendary,
Hey.
which
Oh.
we have played.
What's the expansion?
It's the Civil War expansion,
I
so
love,
which is one of the big
Marvel
ones.
So you
Legendary.
get Abraham Lincoln. What powers does he have?
No, you got Robert E. Lee in
Nathan
that
loves
one.
Legendary because I
It's the
don't
only
think he's
game.
lost.
It's the only
at
game
it
I
yet.
can win at. I'm very good at Legendary.
I got a new sound bar and we got a new like entertainment table for our living room. So we're planning on moving the studio upstairs from downstairs, and I'm gonna put my record player and speakers and all that up there. So
I recommend all recliners, so we could all sit around with our
like we're in the
like we're working high fidelity.
oh, I was gonna say like we're in the theater in Gainesville.
Well, pretty much. No, I want to look like everybody look like John Cusack and high fidelity in their own corner. You know, surrounded by records, just talking a bunch of bullshit. And there's windows in there that aren't covered in burlap.
And then
For now.
for now.
Once
For the
we
time
get some
being,
there.
wait till we get there though.
For the sound and scream dampening effects.
And then of course annually Allison gets me some.
Anally? What did Allison get you?
Right up the kisser.
Did you just secrete a gift?
Was
from
that
her
your
anus?
gift to her as your virgin asshole?
She gets me beef jerky from a guy in town that makes the beef jerky. So y'all have had that beef jerky.
Yeah.
That's some
Oh,
serious
Chris?
beef jerky.
Chris?
Yeah.
Chris makes some good jerky.
Yeah. So I've gone through most of that. So I've been reading some of the X-Men 2099. I tried to install a bull bar that I got for my Jeep, which was the wrong year, which I was really pissed because I was like feeling really accomplished and we were about to get this thing on there and
That
then
shit
it didn't
always
fit.
happens, man.
Yeah. I bought some Ultimate Spider-Man comics at Second Charles when we went this week, which they were like 50 cents each, so that was pretty cool. Phoenix Resurrection, I read that, the first issue of that, and it is awesome. They should have just called it Resurrection instead of Phoenix Resurrection. And X-Men Grand Design I read that I picked up last week, so that, and like I said, I started reading the X-Men 2099 and finished up The Gifted, which was meh. I watched Dark Tower and I started Valerian in the City of 1,000 Planets, and haven't got a chance to finish it yet.
I keep forgetting that we have that on the account.
Yeah, yeah. So far, it's pretty good. I've really enjoyed it. Dark Tower, I thought was a movie. It was a movie. It wasn't bad. But it wasn't, you know.
I love your comparison, though.
I feel they bungled the storyline and everything.
Well, and it's one of those books that I haven't read. I own all of them, but I'm like saving it because I know how much I'm going to probably love it.
Is that going to be? That should be your Nerd Year's resolution this year to read all 7 Dark Tower novels.
How
It
about
takes
just
me
read a
so
book?
Plus
yeah, it takes
Wind
me
in the-
so long to read a book.
That's why I'm giving you an entire year.
No, it'll take me longer than a year to read all
This is
7
why I'm
of
giving
those.
you 7 entire years. The Gunslinger is 150 pages.
No, I can read the Gunslinger. I've started it. I just never.
You're halfway through.
No.
When you start 1990? I'm sorry, Ray. I'm just giving you a hard erect time.
But yeah.
But yeah,
So that was. I guess that's me.
Mike. Since we already know you organized the closet.
Yes, that was a big part of my nerd on. I also got a bunch of cool shit for Christmas. No, I got some new lights for my truck, actually, that work.
Exciting.
So I should be able to blind everybody now. These are like fog lights for off-roading, so should be pretty cool. Got a new knife. Got a replacement flashlight for the one that was
How many knives
lost
do you
or stolen.
have these days?
About as many Hot Toys for knives.
Probably around 30.
Do you have a proper knife display case?
No, I need to get one.
Oh, well.
If it gets me a nerd on, give me a $40 knife display case. You can go right ahead.
Secret Santa next year.
Yeah, we'll have to up it to 200 just for that, so I get a nice wooden mahogany one.
You're getting that $40 one.
Oh, Jesus.
I know someone that's good at wood.
Mahogany would be about $200.
It's just a TV tray that's got some some felt
It's just
glued to the top
It's
of
just
it.
a shoebox with some saran wrap inside.
It's cool. Your knives won't get dinged to nothing. Let me see. What else did we get? I got a couple games. I got Assassin's Creed Origins, playing that right now. Fantastic. Great game. It takes a lot of what I loved about the first one. A lot of the mechanics.
Assassinating?
Yeah, the gameplay is familiar and different at the same time. They kind of updated the free running to be more like Uncharted. So it's kind of different, but they've also mapped the fighting buttons to the top of the controller.
Ooh.
Which is hard to get used to,
Yeah.
but I'm still working on that. But it works really well. The game's well done. It's Egypt, so that's fucking cool. It takes place around 48 BCE. I'm in Alexandria right now in Egypt, so that's pretty damn awesome. Overall, I recommend it. I also was able to get Wolfenstein 2 and also Call of Duty World War, whatever it's called,
it's
the new
World War
II. Both I'm excited to play, but I've been on Assassin's Creed kicks. Also beat Unity. Unity wasn't bad, but they're kind of getting away from the new era storyline, and that's what I like. I like a mix of that gameplay with the old style gameplay of being the Animus and being in whatever time period that you're playing in. Also got a pretty cool jacket I'm enjoying right now.
Nice.
That's pretty sexy. It's a cardigan, not a pullover. And I know Ray's looking at it. It's really nice. I think that is it. Oh, and some cologne. Yay. As far as Nerd-On goes, throughout the week, I'm currently listening to A Night in A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court by
cool.
Mark Twain, narrated by Nick Offerman. Really fucking cool. It's a really interesting book. I'm having a good time with it. I was also able to finish. I've been reading a lot of books recently. I was able to finally finish that whole Ember War series, which I think we talked about last week.
Yeah.
And then, a really good book I read this week was called The Border. It's by Robert McCammon, the guy who wrote one of my favorite books, A Boy's Life, and some other books. Nathan, you read one of his books.
I read A Boy's Life, I think.
You read A Boy's Life, and you read something else. The one with the apocalypse. People have fucked up faces. Girl has the power to regrow plants and shit. I forget what it was called, but it was a really good book. You read it.
I read a few, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so The Border essentially is there are two technologically advanced alien races fighting, and the border along their empires falls on Earth. So they've basically just destroyed the planet. 99% of humanity is gone. The poisons that leach into the soil are creating like mutants and shit. Just crazy. And a boy wakes up with injuries that could kill him, like just covered in bruises and everything. But he starts to unlock these powers, I guess, and it kind of goes from there in order to kind of save the planet. But it's a really cool book. I enjoyed it a lot. I read it in about 2 or 3 days. But if you like Robert McCammon, it's a great read. The sci-fi elements too, I'd definitely recommend it, especially to you, Nathan. I think you'd like it. But that was really about it for my Nerd On and Christmas and everything.
Not too bad of a haul. And
Not too
pretty
bad.
good stuff. Chuckles? What is Chuck's nickname? Chuck.
Who's Chuck? Because his name's
Christmas,
Charles.
got to hang out with mom and dad and my older sister. We had a good Christmas. Little sister and my niece, they decided not to show up, so fuck them. That's just personal reasons why it annoys me. But
And incest.
okay.
Well, I was drawing back to the joke beforehand.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And you said fuck
you
your
were
and
making
you said,
about
fuck your
I
niece.
get it,
small
I get it.
earlier.
Yeah. So fucking your niece is incest.
TJ was
I hope you know that.
Pneumonia.
awesome enough to build a display for the signed wrestling boot by Ric Flair that Ray got me for Christmas.
That shadow shoebox.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
It's straight up
really
displayed
cool.
on top of one of my bookcase. On my bookcase, I have all my wrestling DVDs on,
Hey.
so I see it. When I leave.
Be honest with us.
Yeah.
How'd that boot fit?
I don't think I would have been able to put it on. It's a lot smaller
It's
than my foot.
small. It's very small.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had small feet.
Still does.
Besides that, also TJ's gift that he got me for Christmas came in. I got it Tuesday. Also, Age of Apocalypse Omnibus.
You read it yet?
That
You should have
thing,
been able to blow through that.
I haven't had time.
It's not that long. You get lunch breaks.
Chuck has been
That thing
cutting
is huge.
meat
That thing is
nonstop
huge. That book
for
is huge.
168 hours.
I probably read that whole entire story 6 times at least.
Taking a
And you've
shit.
got like 50 years on me. Big
Wow.
deal. But no, I thought The Long Halloween was a long story. Age of Apocalypse, I think, is
I've
massive.
never made it through a long Halloween.
I gotta read it. I have it.
It's really long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as long as Age of Apocalypse, but
And it's like you're repeating the whole day over and over.
like Groundhog Day.
Go on, Chuck.
But as far as Christmas goes, that was pretty much that. I'm still I haven't posted any pictures of anything from the Secret Santa or the stuff I've got this year for Christmas from y'all. But this Christmas is one of the better ones I've had in a long time. Like even going back to a kid, it was just amazing. As far as just stuff for my Nerd On, finally saw Bright this week.
Heard it's really good.
Yeah, I've been putting it
Really
off.
good. I thought
I
you
want
saw it, Mike.
both. I've heard people say it's really bad.
I want to see. Well, it seems critics are shitting all over Bright, but
Yeah,
fans are
critics
loving
shit on
it.
But
No,
like,
it was
it's
good.
It had like over 22 million watches on
And
Netflix.
I remember they were talking about
And Netflix usually doesn't release stuff on
Yeah.
their reviews, so that means that movie
Yeah.
did really well.
because I remember I saw an article that they were talking about doing a sequel to it,
Yeah,
and then
that-
another article was they're going to do a possible
High
show
beams.
for it.
Yeah.
But regardless, it was really good. If you got the
I
chance,
want to watch it. I just
I think it's like 2 hours
Yeah.
runtime. It's really good.
I'll try to get to it eventually.
And I finally avoided, for the most part, any spoilers or anything. I finally saw Star Wars Last Jedi last night.
Thoughts?
Well,
We'll
we're
get into
gonna
that.
review it in
I
a
know,
little
but
bit.
Yeah.
just my overall thoughts.
He can say good or bad.
I really enjoyed it. I really did.
Oh, tell me exactly why you enjoyed it in great detail.
But on Christmas, yeah, I think it's about it for me.
DJ. All right. So for Christmas, I got Katie got me a digital camera, which was kind of the big one I wanted to get.
Nice.
So, I got some tools and stuff that I've been wanting. And this, I know it's a really odd, nerdy thing to be excited about, but this huge toolbox, I was
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. It was just awesome to get. And then got my well, we call it Chuckmas gift, I guess is what he's
Yes.
wanting us to call it.
Chuck Miss
And-
anytime.
This was I got kind of the last kind of grail that I really have.
Mm-hmm.
And that was DX05, Hot Toys DX05 Indiana Jones
Oh yeah.
from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it's amazing. I'm just
I don't know who had the
In
better
awe.
reaction, TJ or Katie.
yeah. Katie
They
just
both
Bet Katie
freaked
flipped
out.
yeah. Katie flipped her shit because her Marty McFly finally came in too.
Yeah.
So she was just having a great '80s day that evening. As far as this last week, I finished Rebels Season 2, Star Wars Rebels Season 2, and started Season 3, and it's just been getting better and better. I went through Marvel Unlimited, and I've been reading their Star Wars comics, and there's not a bad one in there. And what I really like about those series, too, is even though you know there's nothing that can possibly happen to these characters, you still get a sense of danger in the stories.
Yeah.
Which is really hard to do, and these writers have done a great job on it. It's, Jason Aaron is one of the writers on
Jason Aaron's the one that did Thor, God of Thunder, and he's currently working on, I believe, still doing Doctor Strange. No, maybe Donny Cates has taken over of that. Yeah. Anyway, he's an excellent writer.
Yeah, and he does a great job of putting them in situations that feel dangerous, even though you know nothing can happen. So, like, man, this could go bad, and so I really appreciate it. It's a great written series, and then Kieran Gillen is his name, that writes the Darth Vader comics.
Oh, that picture you sent of what Vader does. Oh, that was so good.
No, that whole series is those last few minutes of Rogue One. That whole series puts that to shame. Like that. Are you reading the first series?
I read all of the first series, and then I'm on the second series now. There's only 2 issues of the second series on there. The first series is set between the original Star Wars and Empire, and it's about Vader trying to track down Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Or at the beginning of it, he doesn't know who he is, so he's trying to track down who the rebel pilot was that destroyed the Death Star.
Yeah.
And then after he finds out who it is, then he's hunting for Luke specifically, and
because you get that fight with Boba and Luke on Tatooine, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool fight. It's really neat how he wins the fight, and then Boba comes in, and all he says is I found out his last name. That's all I got, and he tells him, he says Skywalker, and Vader just stands there, just icy as hell. Boba. It's walks out, just fucking scoots out as quick as he can, and Vader's just standing there looking out a viewport, and it just starts cracking.
Yeah,
and he's like, the Emperor lied to me.
Yeah,
and it's
because there's that whole deceit that you feel like that neither one of them trust each other. You get a lot more of that in the comics than you do in the show, so it really fleshes out that hate and deceit between the two Sith.
Mm-hmm. And then the second series picks up right after the end of episode 3, so it's Vader just coming off the table. Is literally where it starts off, and the Emperor's just shocking him, putting him down. He's like, "This is your place. This is what you're going to do." And the story that's starting right now is him going to go get his lightsaber, because Sith don't get their kyber crystals. They have to take their kyber crystals from a Jedi's lightsaber, and then they have to bleed the kyber crystal, and that's how it turns red. So it's a very cool series. Let's see. Been watching more of the Great British Bake Off. It's
a great show, man.
Allison started them all over again. So I come in and I'm like, I've seen this one before. And she's like, I started them over.
Yeah, I'm on. We just finished season 2.
The pleasant show.
It is so good. I don't know why I like it so much, but
it's just pleasant.
Yeah. There's no fighting or anything
looking at those rolling hills, and people are just so relaxed and like, oh, it's gonna burn and I'm gonna get kicked off.
You should watch the Big Family Cook-Off.
I watched some of it,
and then
it's good.
The last couple days I've been on this weird classic country music kick, so I can't explain that. But
maybe it's because your life is just so good that you're used to being sad, so it's subconsciously listening to some country music to kind of offset your fantastic life.
Could be that, Mike. Thank you. I didn't put that together, but thank you.
You're welcome. I put a lot of things together except Lego Ecto ones.
Still?
Fuck no. It's almost a record now. I bought that thing May 2014. I'm going to see how long I can go.
2014, man.
I also bought a PS Vita launch day. Still haven't played it.
No. Marshall's going to come over to my
Just
house.
bring it over and let Marshall
They're
put
like
it together and school you,
25 games for it too.
school you on it.
He has a Vita.
No, on the
One day.
He'll
on
come
your-
over
your
and
Ecto.
You're like me with comic books. One day you're going to need that fucking Vita. And all
yeah.
those. What happens if fucking every electrical
You're
thing
really
in
gonna
the
need
world?
that Alpha Flight run.
Fuck yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen? We're going to have a thing like Revolution happen, where all the fucking internet and the whole fucking grid goes down. And guess who's
So you're
going
gonna
to
use it for Tinder?
Guess who's going to have something to read? This guy.
Or a law is enacted where only B-level heroes have to be read.
Or you have to pay extra on the internet for your comic books.
Yeah.
For your A-level, your Iron Mans and stuff, you have to go to Metal Dude
Nathan, go ahead,
and
man.
Mean Green Machine.
So for Christmas, it
Robin
was
Hood.
pretty good. Old Chuck Miss over there really blew my dick off, and then gave me a hot toy.
Honestly, I regret not giving it to Nathan during the podcast because he would have shut the fuck up. You wouldn't have heard him the rest of the night.
Yeah,
He literally he said, "Oh my god."
I was
That was it.
pretty speechless, man, because I got the Joker DX08. As you guys know, it was the first hot toy I've ever seen, and kind of drew me into that whole world. I've been wanting it for years. Like before, I didn't even know what hot toys were. I just was like, look at that super realistic action figure. I must have it, and it's fucking beautiful. I got it in a pretty fun pose. I think I got it in the old office, and it's pretty damn cool. The other stuff, my lady got me a mandolin,
Nice.
and it's very cool. And
Who's a mandolin?
yeah, it's we're swinging.
Hi, I'm a mandolin.
I did not realize that. I read this joke, and it only makes sense to mandolin guys, but it's like I've been playing the mandolin for 30 years. 15 of that's been tuning it, and the other 15's been playing out of tune. And it's pretty damn true. That it's one of the hardest things to tune up. It's a pain in the
Why
ass.
is it so hard to tune?
Well, because each string is actually 2 strings.
Yeah, so there's 8 strings on it.
and it's so small, and so as you tune up and you go down the neck, you got to also then go back down and retune because it goes out tuned so easy, or it's so hard to get everything tuned.
So you're
Sounds
talking about
good.
like a mandolin in the kitchen, but an instrument?
Yeah,
Yeah, a music instrument.
You can make some music with that too. Just put your fingers against it.
That's what I thought he meant.
The best thing that I got, actually Marshall got, is the BB-8 remote control.
That looked badass.
Voice activated.
The thing is about 2 feet tall.
is 1/1
No,
scale.
it looks like it's 1/1. I don't
Yeah.
know if it is, but it's
It's-
close.
It's amazing. It truly is. Like it's fast. It fucking hauls ass all over the house. And especially if you're on smooth surface, if you turn, he goes out. If he stops though, his head falls out and he goes, makes all these weird noises. It's hilarious. I've had a lot of fun with it with Marshall. It's just, and yeah, you
And
can
without
also,
Marshall.
yeah, but you can ask different questions like, where's Poe or Kylo Ren, and he goes into alert mode. He's pretty fucking cool. So it was a pretty fun Christmas. As far as Nerd-Ons, I've honestly been watching a shitload of documentaries. I have watched Dope, which is on Netflix. It's just about, it's like 2 sides of showing the drug trade. As it shows a lot of stuff about the cartels and things
I was
like
hoping
that.
it was a hip hop documentary.
Now, Dope, the movie, is really good too. But anyway, no, Dope is, and then it shows the other side from the cops, and it's actually extremely good if you're into that type of stuff. Toys that made us.
Oh, I saw the
was great.
He-Man episode. That was the first one I watched.
All of them are great.
All of them
I
are
haven't
good.
watched all of them, but I saw the He-Man one.
Even Barbie.
Oh,
I
you
was
skipped- what
surprised.
was
Yeah,
the
even
first-
the Barbie was good.
Was
one.
He-Man the first episode?
No,
No, it
There's
was-
no order really to go watch them in. I just saw the He-Man. I was like,
There
watch
is
that
an
one.
order,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you
Star
just
Wars
didn't go
was
by
the
Star
first
Wars.
one.
Yeah.
Save the
Whatever.
best for first.
But that's been a great documentary. It's also very I'm really a snob. I like my documentaries to be shot really nice and all and that one shot great. I like the
Well,
effects
even the
too.
little dramatizations they do beforehand are all
fun. They're fun.
they're ridiculous, but they're good and ridiculous.
I have
like
to say
The G.I. Joe one, the G.I. Joe reenactment's my favorite, though.
It was funny because a lot of people online have been talking about it, and I saw someone dissing it, I'm never going to watch that show again, and I'm like, what the hell is this person's problem? And he's like, watched the first episode with my kid, watching Star Wars. It was awesome. Then the Masters of the Universe one came on, and all these guys are F this, F that, just dropping F-bombs. I was like, well, yeah, but it was pretty fun. It was really good.
I thought those guys were freaking awesome.
They were hilarious.
They knew what they were doing. They're like, the G.I. Joe one was just like, they're like, I can't believe these kids were buying it. We were like, just printing money.
Yeah.
Was it I think it was a G.I. Joe. The guy that designed everything. He's like, yeah, I designed her with the shirt down a little lower.
Yep.
I was like, that's the creepiest
And then
fucking dude.
just he might as well just like raise his eyebrows up and down like, and then jacked off onto the page.
Because all the girls, he would be like, well, she's sexy.
Yeah, she's my favorite because she's sexy. But that's a great show. Hired Guns is another documentary I watched. It's just a movie. It's about 2 hours
not about
long.
westerns and bounty hunters, guys.
Yeah, it's about guys that are hired to play in bands or studio musicians. It's extremely good. It's shot so well in the story, and just you don't realize how many of these guys recorded all the music of the top albums, especially in the 70s, 80s, and 90s and stuff like that, before Pro Tools and computers made it easier. It's just done really well. Then I watched the Furthest, Voyager in Space. Great documentary about the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 that were launched off. I truly love that one.
I saw a documentary in the 70s about that.
Yeah, this one's way better.
I don't know. Star Trek
real
motion
life.
picture.
Old Voyager.
Yeah. No, if you care anything about the Voyagers or what they've done, it's neat the stuff that went on in the background.
Janeway.
I like space. Sue me.
No,
It's just neat.
no, I've got that on the list to watch.
My lawyer on speed dial.
It's so interesting because like literally when they decided to launch, it was like the perfect time because of how it would launch off and be able to pretty much boomerang off of each planet it's seen to go see the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And like when they went in there, they're like, the last time we had this opportunity, Thomas Jefferson was the president and he blew it. So
That's how they convinced Nixon.
That's how they got
by
Nixon.
telling him that joke.
And they told him that, and because they were asking for one, he's like, well, let's send two. And old Nixon it up. But I mean, it turned out to be the right thing because of it's weird.
Shit's still out there, man.
Yeah, they've beyond.
It's beyond our known solar system.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
the bubble, as they call it, finally reached out that. But it's just so weird because every planet.
Can we still connect to it? Do we still get data
we
back
still
from
get
it?
radio.
I think they recently did.
Yeah, what they said was it uses like
it's as small as like half of a watt.
It's like a half a watt, but they can pick it out from all the background radiation, but it's like insignificant amount of power. It's crazy. Like this thing could do it forever.
It will.
That's crazy.
Like because the mission essentially was just to go to I think Saturn and Jupiter, I believe was that was the main one, but they're like, well, we'll do a mission within a mission. If we can get there, then we'll hook around and we'll try and go even further. And that's also where like they did the record that they put on there in case it ever runs into any life out there. And that's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Just like because they interview the guys that chose the music and all the facts and everything. Like I say,
I will have to watch it.
It's a really good documentary.
Well, Skrillex wasn't around yet, so.
Well, that's what's even funnier. He's like, we put a bunch of music and people gave us a lot of flack for it. It's like, well, we have 2 hours and we're trying to represent the world. So like, there's like this maiden, like 13-year-old African period blood like ritual singing or something like that. But they're like, it's really beautiful, and then they play you a clip and you're like, that's not very pretty, but whatever. But that I watched all that. I would like to say I watched a lot of those, and then did some recording and mixing this week. Old Ray slapped the bass, and then to top it all off, I downloaded this game on my phone called Monkey Ropes, and it is a lot of fun. I
make monkey ropes like 3 times a day.
Well, I mean, this is very simple.
Sometimes they're like monkey tails.
I like playing mobile games there once in a while. I don't do it a whole lot, but every once in a while I'll download one, and this one has really fun physics to it, and it's not often when I'm sitting down I'll just pull out and play it. Then I usually, it's like
because that's what people equate with fun is physics.
No, I mean
I know what you mean.
It's a cool game. So if you have Apple, like not a 7-year-old
I haven't activated it yet.
Anyway, But with that, we're going to take a very quick break, and actually, we won't actually take a break. We're just going to hit pause, and then we're going to come right back. And we'll
play some music
yeah,
for
we're
you.
Play some music for
Some
you.
more number 200 coming at you.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about Star Wars.
200 minutes of episode 200.
Like what, a 4-hour podcast?
All right, welcome back, and we've been waiting a long time, but we're trying to be respectful for anybody that listens and not really ruin Star Wars.
Sometimes it's according to how we're feeling. Sometimes we're like, "Fuck it, you should have seen it yesterday."
Well, the issue was like I remember the three. You two had seen it first, followed by TJ. Then Nate had seen it, and I was the last one to see it, so that's why it didn't get spoken about.
And then spoilers, obviously, from here on.
From here on out, Star Wars. If you have not seen it, this will be spoiled big time.
It's
And
literally
we're
been out for
referring
2
to The
weeks.
Last Jedi.
Yes.
We're not going to spoil the other
We
7
won't
movies.
spoil any
Empire.
of the other movies.
Don't spoil Empire, guys, because that's just wrong.
So I think we've all pretty much put out that what we thought of the movie. Like everyone,
Unanimously, the podcast liked this movie. I know
did.
there's a lot
I
of
really
hate out
enjoyed
there, but all of us, I think, would y'all? Is it fair to say we really liked it?
I really
I thought it
enjoyed
was
it.
good.
I thought it was one of the better
I need
ones.
to see it. I need to see it a second time.
I do too.
But overall, I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was good. If we do a quick scale, I would give it a 6 out of 10.
I thought The Force Awakens was better.
Agreed.
I don't.
yes and
I
no.
have to see it again,
I say
but
yes
I don't
and no.
think I can say that. I think this
I
was
can't
probably
either.
better.
I think The Force Awakens had a bit more of a cohesive story. Well,
I
it
think
borrowed
the Force,
some.
it had
the
been
Force Awakens had.
Years before the last one came out.
Let's get back to basics.
I was going to say the Force Awakens had a little bit behind it of we haven't had a Star Wars in a while.
Yes.
So I think there
A
was
good
that
Star
excitement.
Wars in a while.
Well, or any Star Wars at all.
We've had the TV shows.
Yes.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't watch those.
Well,
and I hadn't
unfortunately for
watched
them.
those. Yeah, true. But I hadn't watched most of those. I'd watched parts of them, but we hadn't had a Star Wars movie for a while. So Force Awakens coming out was a huge, huge, huge thing.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of a dip already from like all that hype is gone.
Yeah.
So, but
they were trying to this one tried really hard to be its own thing.
Yes.
And which I have to hats off to them. They tried, but they didn't succeed in a lot of ways, and they succeeded in a lot of ways. And I think that's why so many people are split. Like I know most people that have the general census that I get in public is people hated this movie.
yeah, I see so much hate.
I
for
haven't
this
met a
movie.
lot of people that said they absolutely love it. Most people, even I'm talking about passing, just people that watch movies that aren't nerds. They're like, I didn't really like it that much. Like people were not thrilled with this movie. And I think it's because they really went out to the go away, because so many people complained that Force Awakens was just a rehash
Of New Hope. And this was completely
and they're
different.
like, all right, well, we're gonna give you something completely different. People are like, whoa,
That's
I was
honestly,
expecting this movie to be a lot like
Empire.
the old movies.
yeah,
Empire.
that's honestly what I liked about it. It's The Force Awakens kind of like was
set up a lot of things.
bringing everybody in. It's like, okay, here's everybody's here. We still got Luke and Han and Leia and all this, and then this movie's like, okay, well, now we're cutting the cord a little bit.
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
go off on our own thing.
Because the whole thing about it was they're doing away with the past.
I'm a huge fan of that. Just I was
Because
from
you
the
wanted
get-go.
that before, you didn't even want the old people in the movies at all.
I thought they should have just went straight
New characters.
new stuff.
And,
but
and I feel like this was an easier way to ease into it. But I feel like one of the things that they did, they set up a lot of things in the other movies. And
he slapped it all in the face and said,
no, I don't think that. I think people
he
made
did.
a bigger deal about
Yes.
it than it actually was. No one, at no point in anything did they make I didn't feel like they made as big of a deal of who's Rey's parents as the fans did.
I kind of disagree. I think it had a lot of her wondering. Even this movie deals a lot with wondering who her parents is. Like that was a big question that was out there. Out of the two, I didn't mind. Like I said, just to go, I think where people were mad is they were expecting Rey's parents to be something tied to the universe, and with them saying there was no one, I thought that made perfect sense. I was perfectly okay with it.
I loved it.
I think so many people are used to movies where everything builds upon and builds upon and builds upon,
and
that's going against what people are used to.
And the Star Wars lore is all about the Skywalkers.
Everything's connected.
So I being like that, like
but
your
the
parents are no
Skywalkers
one.
are still in it.
The Skywalkers are still in it, but going forward,
she's not
connected.
She's not tied to it.
No,
so that
Kylo
just erases all of that.
Yeah.
So I loved that. I loved that it's like this is what this film is saying is you've had this other thing, and we're still going to do Star Wars, but it's not going to be what you expected. This isn't going to end the way you think.
This movie, 100%, it's like whatever you think is going to happen is not. Everything's going to be completely the opposite, and they stuck true. The entire movie was like, oh, you want to know? Nah, there were nobody. You think what's Snoke's backstory? Doesn't fucking matter.
Cares.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Like all these things were just like, forget it. Yeah.
Well, and that was a big theme throughout it. Like all the stuff that you think that matters doesn't matter anymore. We're wiping away the past, and I think that's a big part of like that's a theme in the film with Luke and Leia and all that, like and Han throughout this whole trilogy, but also like a little more meta, like outside of the film.
Yeah.
Like we've done that. We're having to expand the universe. We don't just need to talk about Han Solo, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, and Leia. And Darth Vader. You know, we're moving past that.
I think the perfect scene to show that was. I know there's a lot of flack about the scene, but Luke, when he gets the lightsaber, just throwing it over his shoulder.
I fucking hated that.
Oh, I loved it.
It felt like somehow like a spoof movie. Like that was just done so terribly.
It could have been. I see where people can see that, but again, though, this makes you go, okay, I shouldn't expect anything else from this. And that's when I saw that, I just turned off all my expectations for the rest of the movie.
Because I feel like Johnson at that point, there's one of those like you have to know going in. Number one, if you're on the internet at all, you know people want to know who Snoke is, and they've made 1,000 different like theories.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know who Rey is, and they've made 1,000 different theories. The ending of the last film was that iconic scene, and like you have to build upon that. So you can either take what you're given, and like everyone's going to be let down by it. That's what's going to happen. Whenever there's a film like this that's like so much is expected out of, it never delivers.
I thought it did.
But if you take it and like rework it and twist it a little bit, and I felt that's what he did. And I felt like that scene was that. It was taking that very, very, very serious, like everyone's like, oh, it's the passing of the torch. Oh my God, the Jedis. And he's just like, meh.
Yeah, it
over
takes,
the shoulder.
To me, that takes away a lot of like the weight of what was going on. Like he could have denied that sword or the lightsaber,
just drop it.
He could have made it like the meh, the toss. That was my issue. Was the tone that it set. It was the wrong tone. It did not match correctly on what in that.
I felt like it was the same tone of Luke on that afterwards. His whole attitude on the island was, I don't give a fuck about this. What
this doesn't matter.
I didn't feel of it. I didn't feel like it was one of those.
That's exactly.
It didn't feel like that. It felt like if I don't give a fuck about this. Why are you giving this to me?
You could have played a track of it going ding dong and like running down and crashing, and it would have fit perfectly with the way he tossed it.
I think that's the difference between the two. The way we're seeing it, you're seeing it like that, and I'm seeing it more like a snarky. Like I don't give a fuck about this. Why are you giving it to me? But
I think these are the reasons why this movie is so just divided.
Yeah.
People that watch it are so divided on it because humor was a big thing that people. I don't mind humor inside of movies. I really don't. But the way the humor was handled in this movie, I thought was very just. It was
holding for General Hux. That pissed me the fuck off.
Holding for General Hux. I don't recall that.
That's the opening call.
General. That was not needed.
No. I don't know what the deal is. Something has happened within the last few years.
Well, it's the Marvel,
and I think it's Marvel stuff, where all of a sudden people have brought up humor when I don't think that was something that was like I don't think anyone sat down and thought about it. Like when they did Iron Man, what was the director's name?
Jon Favreau.
Yeah. I don't think he sat down and said, you know what, we need some humor here.
My bad.
I think
it felt natural in Iron Man 1.
I think Homeboy just was being Tony Stark, and this is what Tony Stark is, and that seeped into everything else.
Jon Favreau has a really good comedic timing. He knows how to to do a balance of funny.
But what I'm saying from that is, I don't think that was something where someone sat down and intentionally did that.
I think there was definitely like we were going to have a tone. Like they think about tones of movies.
Yeah,
what it's going to be. And I don't think that's wrong that they want to infuse some humor in Star Wars.
Well, what I'm saying is back then, I don't think where that started out.
But it's what it's became. Like, you got the Guardians of the Galaxy, things like that. Like,
there's been humor in Star Wars with 3PO and R2.
It's a different humor, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I think Force Awakens was a humor.
Did a good balance of it.
I agree.
The Last Jedi was just like, it was deliberate.
Force Awakens had some good humor, but like I said, I thought it was handled a little better.
I absolutely felt like the first 15 minutes or so was a little overkill on top. And I think that was again to like kind of desensitize you to what's about to come.
And this was like the first movie where I could really think, Disney owns Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, because like I think the one thing is like if humor's done well, you don't even think about the fact you're laughing. You're just like you're enjoying the movie. But like the whole part, I don't know, it's just a way of like holding and like it's just the level of jokes they were going for there. It's like okay, they're trying to be funny.
Yeah,
because I didn't. The theater was pretty full, and there wasn't a lot of people like laughing. Like there was a couple chuckles.
Mostly kid stuff.
When we were there, I felt like we went on open Thursday night, and I love and hate going on Thursday night openings.
Because the fans are there, but also the fans are there.
Yeah, and it's the people that like they put things in movies that are like
lowest common
those kind of laughs, like
I think that's what it is. It's a lowest common denominator, so everybody thinks it's funny.
Justice League.
Yeah, well, any movie, there's always these things that are like that didn't require a 5-second laugh out where I missed the next 4 lines because it was that wasn't that funny.
Yeah, you expect a laugh track right after that call. Yeah,
that's all you need.
But yeah, like the humor in the movie was very back and forth because there were some parts I was like, all right, that's funny, or I was just enjoying. There's other parts that they're trying to be funny. But I will say, regardless of the Poe thing, because I fucking did hate that, the opening battle, with the Juggernaut that comes in, phenomenal. I love that whole fight scene, that space, even because what would they call them, the bombers? I don't remember what they were called.
Bombardiers? No.
Bombers? I don't. Bombers?
They were just bombers. They didn't have
I didn't know if they had a cool
They didn't have a wing designation.
Yeah. But just, I don't know, that tie back to WW2, just like dropping the manual bombs on top of the Dreadnought. And
that was a pretty cool scene,
it was just great, man.
Yeah. And that was actually a cool scene. I liked hers a lot better than her sister's scene.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because she sacrifices herself.
We'll get to the bad part. We'll get to the controversial stuff in a little bit.
Yeah. But great. That was just a great opening. And we're not going to spell the whole movie out. I just really thought that was a good scene. I would like
to say that I think that the themes throughout this film, like we talked about, throwing away the old and coming in with the new.
Yeah.
The theme of
I felt like
Luke fucked up.
Don't meet your heroes.
Yeah, well,
I think was another big one.
Yeah. Sort of that, but also more of a people are going to fuck up no matter who they are. Yeah. If you look up to someone, they're going to fuck up.
Yeah.
And
don't meet
also,
your heroes.
When you fuck up, guess what? There's consequences. Mm-hmm. Those were 2 very big themes throughout the whole thing. Because I think Poe, we got a lot. I thought Poe was a little too much in this. I was a little over Poe.
I loved him in this one.
I thought there was too much in it. Every fucking decision Poe made was like a cocksure, I'm doing this, and it fucked up.
Poe's the catalyst of the whole movie. Without Poe, there is no movie.
He seemed like the ends justify the means to me. It didn't matter. He wanted to take the First Order out as soon as possible.
But he doesn't think, and he doesn't do things.
Through all the consequences. He doesn't plan out anything. It's enough. His strategy is just
the whole movie is Leia grooming him to take over command.
Yeah. Because eventually the whole entire scene, the whole entire thing that we got with Finn was relatively not pointless because there was a point
Finn
to it.
Was a wasted.
They wasted Finn's whole mission was wasted because Poe was just being dumb and being like, no one's doing what they need to do.
I felt I know that Finn was wasted on it, but I felt like that was an actual consequence of Poe's actions.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Absolutely. I mean,
and it was growing for Finn. So this is why I think it was good. It was a consequence for Poe because Poe again didn't think about shit, jumped in, and so Finn and homegirl Rose are just wasted for that whole part of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's a point where Finn actually gets to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he goes from being like Finn's not a coward. We've seen him not be a coward before this.
He's someone that
wants to run away. He wants to get out of all of this. He
That's
doesn't want to live
He's
up to
always having to overcome his fear.
Yeah. And sometimes he does. I mean, he fucking fights people with lightsabers and shit in the first movie.
Yeah.
But other times he just wants to get in that escape pod and get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
And
he was also
he was going to
wants
get
to
Rey.
find his friend.
Yeah, he was going to get Rey.
He was going to keep Rey from coming back into that too.
Yes, that's why he was leaving.
Was the other side of it.
He was being very selfish. It wasn't necessarily he was being scared. He was trying to go to Rey because he wanted to know where he's at. He was more worried about just
his friend
than the bigger story. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you are right. Like what Finn and Rose go and do is a direct result of what happens where the Empire starts just picking them off when they're trying to escape out. But I just felt they took way too. They could have either shortened that down, and Finn could have been more impactful maybe later on in the movie. Because I thought Finn they gave him a chance to really redeem him when he was going up towards the Death Star ram the door. I
was dead on for that.
They should have let Finn die.
Yes. And I know a lot of people wouldn't have been happy about that.
But he would have been so much more impactful. He would have been the martyr.
Already killed off. I think sitting through this, number one, I assumed, I'll say assumed, but I knew, well, Leia, I think like everyone else thought this, Leia has to die.
Yeah,
so
that didn't happen.
You've already killed you're going to kill off Homegirl that's in the ship that sacrifices herself that was purple hair cool. I can't remember her name. And now you're going to kill Finn off, possibly?
They should have did it.
Good God.
When they had 13 of those ships, 4 of them were named characters that we knew. I was like, there was Finn was driving one, Rose was driving one, Poe was driving one, and who was the 4th one? There was 4 of them that were like characters that we were kind of attached to. It's like, this is not the odds are not there for any kind of danger. And then when
they're coming out at the tank,
and then when Finn's driving right for the ram, I'm like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah, he's like, I'm okay with this. This is going to save my friends. He's not being a coward. He's running towards the issue. He's not running away.
He's running towards his own death.
And ultimately, he's going to make. And the Rose stopping him by slamming her. That's the stupidest thing. I'm just going to kill both of us to stop you from killing yourself and saving everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, not to mention the cannon still fires.
Yeah,
cannon fires.
Door open. It was just I don't know, stupid writing. I don't know. I was like, they should have just killed Finn. That's that's ultimately where I will end on that part. But
I'm interested to see what they do with Finn in the next movie.
They got to do something good with him.
Yeah, to hold off that, because honestly, Finn didn't do a damn thing in this film.
He took out Phasma again.
Yet again, another letdown.
But apparently, it doesn't take fucking much to take Phasma down.
She'll be back in the third. She'll be back in 9.
They made sure that you saw that her armor deflected that laser like it was nothing. Yeah. So her falling down,
she'll be back.
That's nothing. Phasma will come back.
She survives Star Killer base blowing up. She'll be back.
I hope to God she actually gets like her due. Like she actually gets to do something awesome.
Well, she got to fight in this one.
Who had the theory she's an android?
She's not.
No, someone has that theory.
I've never heard that.
I was talking to someone, and I actually really loved the theory that maybe Phasma is like the first android that rose through the ranks of the stormtroopers.
Oh wow,
that was just a cool theory.
Interesting.
I wish she would have been more badass.
Yeah,
I was really hoping that we would get more than just the trailer out of this, because
that's all you got. You saw them clash one time, and that was it.
And people keep complaining about this, and with Snoke too. The same thing where, you got all this backstory and all this stuff. Nobody would put out all this backstory and stuff for somebody that's going to be around for 10 minutes in a movie, and I just keep thinking of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As you wear your Boba Fett shirt.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
How did you guys feel about how they took out Snoke? I loved it.
Again, I thought it was great. Loved it.
I loved it.
It was one of those things that's like, fuck all your theories.
Yes.
It's not about Snoke.
He was so, because it
was weird, but I don't know.
Well,
I have to mention, number one, I love the set design of his throne
That
room.
is so good.
Fucking so cool.
The straight
And
red with the little bit of gray accents.
Design. It reminded me of He-Man. Like, I don't know, just like Skeletor, like just the guards, him, and he's got like fucking gold, like this gold robe.
chains.
Yeah, just like the ultimate. Like I was like, this is the guy. This guy that runs the First Order.
Well,
all right,
and
but he's so powerful.
They showed him being super powerful. And how do you show that someone else is fucking badass? We talked about this with Rey and with Kylo. You show that someone's super badass by showing another super badass and them getting beat by this other person. So you show again how badass Kylo is by just instantly taking out Snoke.
Well, because I think people had issues like that they didn't have an all-out fight. But number one, Snoke was already shown to be way more powerful than anybody.
Oh yeah.
But also, I think the real fight between
too cocky.
Kylo and Snoke it was the mind control that he had over Kylo.
Yeah.
So for Kylo to be able to trick Snoke into thinking he's reading his mind and he's seeing that he's going to kill Rey, and instead he fucking turns on the lightsaber,
Which was
and
crazy
slices him
also.
in half.
I the one thing I wish in that scene, and I know why they did it, but I wish they hadn't shown the lightsaber turning.
Yeah. Absolutely, because I would have shit myself in that theater and not gone to change my underpants and just sat there in it watching the rest of it.
Because other people are saying too, one of the things I've been reading online is that people are complaining that Snoke would have felt the Force and everything. He would have known that Kylo was doing that. And I'm like, Vader picked the fucking Emperor up,
and threw the
threw him
motherfucker
down a pit. And the Emperor's at least as powerful as Snoke.
And again, this shows. I think they're showing that Snoke is much more powerful than the Emperor. But this shows again, if he didn't notice it, that's how good Kylo Ren is.
He was too cocky.
Also, that's it. It was like
He was
Snoke
too
is so
fucking
cocky,
cocky.
and was so
he let the smallest thing get by him.
Yeah. But I will say the resulting fight of
Holy
Rey
shit.
and Kylo, you're thinking they're teaming up and they take on the guards. That was a great fight.
Man, and that scene right
Who
after.
else thought Luke was going to come in and be the bad guy?
I did. Right there at that time when all of a sudden Kylo starts giving that speech, you're like, oh, fuck. Kylo and Ren, Luke's the bad guy in this.
Yeah.
They're fixing a team up, and Luke's the bad. What the fuck's going on? And then there's just barely a twist, and you're like, oh, and it's more of a, join me, together we can rule the galaxy. And it's like, oh, shit,
that was
man.
a great speech and a great scene.
That was
Kylo.
so good.
I just have to take, like, Adam Driver is owning that role, and he's the best thing about the entire series right now.
Because I think the way they've done it, he's a man-child who is super powerful, but whiny, but also very wise.
I think he grew a lot more in this one.
He did, but he was still he was pissed. He said he was mad that Snoke made fun of his helmet. You know, that's a man-child
He's like,
thing.
You're no Vader.
Yeah, that's so he's still like he is a child.
I mean,
that's
look at all of
man
his father
that's
figures.
That's trying, and his one good father figure, Luke,
failed him.
Yeah.
And his other good father figure probably wasn't a great father figure, honestly. No,
He wasn't there.
Han Solo left after Luke failed him. So, I mean, of course the dude's fucked up.
Yeah.
But that makes him a much more complicated villain.
He's a great villain. Like I said, I'm very happy that, especially going into the next movie, that you have him full control of the First Order.
Yes.
His power seems like stronger than ever. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Mike, any injections? I know we're kind of bogarting the mics.
No, I mean, I kind of agree with everything you guys are saying. I don't really have any interjections because it would just be
Disagree with something.
repeating.
All right, what about? Let me ask Mike. Then a lot of people have issues with dead Leia, Ghost Superman Leia getting blown off to space and then coming back towards the door with her force pull.
Loved it.
What?
Yep.
I just saw the same scene in Rebels, but it was shot differently, and I think it looks better if it's done a different way. But I'm sorry, Michael.
I thought it was kind of a cheap trick. I thought they should have let her die, but if that's the way the story's going to play out, that's going to play out. It's totally believable that she has force powers because she is a Skywalker.
And honestly, in all of the extended universe stuff, she always has. She's always had some sort of force powers.
But I think I think most people are gonna only look at the movies.
Yeah.
And what you
No,
have
I know
there.
they are.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like
really shitty.
this isn't a completely new thing, and I think it was very respectful of them, since Carrie died this year while this was in production, to not just kill her off in the movie.
Well, they have to do it in the next one.
They don't have to. They can move the movie forward, and she could have died in the intermedium.
To be
she
fair,
didn't have
though,
to die in the next film.
they were pretty much finished with the movie story-wise and principal photography because she's in the rest of the movie. They could have killed her off while she's still alive, and and it wouldn't have been a big deal, even though I don't know, I'm just saying, like, they could have let her die there, but obviously they were going to bring her back in the movie before she passed away. She was in there.
After that part, when she was in the whatever,
I didn't like that part. I'll just
when she was in the hospital or whatever, getting better. After that part, when Jurassic Park homegirl took over, they didn't have to have her in the rest of the film.
Yeah,
they could have used Jurassic Park homegirl.
I think
instead.
The worst part of that scene was the zoom out. If you'd kept it zoomed in on like her face and arm, I don't think it would have looked as bad.
It just looked pretty funny how she was like,
it looked kind of Mary Poppins.
That was,
it was very, very Poppins.
Yeah. And I'm not talking so much about the way it looked, more as the idea of it.
But I think that's what takes it out for so many people is it looks so funny. If something looks stupid on film, people aren't going to like it, and that looks stupid.
Yeah.
So that's why
now,
I was like, that looks kind of.
One of the other things that people are really, really pissed off about is they're saying that's not their Luke. Their Luke wouldn't have decided to kill Kylo Ren.
I don't know, man, because even fucking Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill, said that's not the Luke I played.
Luke said that months ago. I think he's changed his tune since
he came
then.
back and
he said it months before the film.
The only thing he said different is like, I think the story's right. It's still, he still agrees. That's not the Luke that he thinks he played, but it was what's right for the story.
Well, my thing is that Luke, and this is all again because even Yoda comes up and says, basically that this whatever, man. You're
going to fail.
You have to learn from your mistakes, and this was a mistake, and he knew it. He didn't try to kill Kylo. He had the idea that he panicked and was like, I saw what Vader did. This kid's stronger than Vader. Yeah. Maybe I can kill him.
See, to me, like Luke Skywalker feeling that he created him, but then letting him run off and pretty much destroy, the universe and not do anything. That just doesn't seem very.
I don't think he let him run off because he brought the house down on Luke.
Let's look back
after
at this.
Rey had to come and pretty much.
Let's look back at this a little bit
and Ghost Yoda.
So let's say you're Hitler's son, right? And you've done everything you can to distance yourself from it. And then you see your nephew there, and he's basically turning into a new Hitler.
A mustache.
Yeah.
I get where you're going, TJ.
So, do
I have the powers that Luke Skywalker? Do I have Hitler powers?
No, I'm just saying.
Try and stop him.
You have a mecha Hitler.
Yeah, how do you stop him? Do you take him out then, or try to take him out?
Or does that thought even cross your mind?
Yeah.
Because fuck, that kind of thought, no matter who you are, no matter how pure you are,
that
thought
family.
is going to cross your mind.
And it's a split-second thing.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about where he's deciding if he's going to kill?
Standing over him with the lightsaber.
No, I don't think that Luke made a mistake. There's the fact that Kylo left, killed, a bunch of, the people, and then has just sat in exile for 30 years.
No,
and
he hasn't sat in exile for 30 years.
Or not 30 years.
It's
15, however many years.
It's at most 5 to 6 years.
Also, you don't know how much he knows of what Kylo is doing at this point. He's been in exile.
Yep, he took himself out of circulation. He cut himself off from the Force. He doesn't know what's going on.
But he knows the power that Kylo possesses.
He does.
But he's also cut himself off from the Force, so he can't
exactly. He stuck his head into sand.
He knows the potential that he has, and it scared him.
Just like his two previous masters did.
And that is true.
But
Luke's supposed to be better. Goddammit.
When Ben failed.
See, I never felt
Yoda
like Luke was better. I felt like Luke was always this sort of flawed kid.
He was supposed to be better.
He was supposed to be, but no one is ever better.
He also wasn't formally trained.
The pressure.
And that's what
he was way less formally trained than Vader was.
But you got to think he felt good enough to go start his own Jedi Academy. He's he's training
the last
people.
one. They're all dead.
But I mean, he has the books. He's been. Who knows how much training and how much better he got since the originals.
Apparently, pretty
the
fucking
Skywalkers
better.
are failed.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all
He's-
flawed.
He's pretty goddamn powerful if he can force project himself light years away.
Yeah.
And you know, like, and people think he's there putting physical objects in their hand.
Yeah.
You know,
And
like that's
kissing
pretty
them.
goddamn powerful.
I think Leia knew. Leia knew.
They had to.
That's probably why.
You see all that just from Eddie in his
But
beard?
I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like she just lets it drop, and then, but it's I don't know. That's
Here and there.
Shinpo. Doesn't really matter.
That was actually beautiful to me, and I like teared up real bad when he handed her Han's dice. Woo!
Yeah, that
Boy.
the scene that really like was like, oh my god, this is badass fucking scene is when all the walkers start firing at Luke.
Oh, yeah.
I bursted out laughing because I thought they actually blew him up because you know the clay. I thought it was all blood. I was like, holy shit!
At first, I did too. I was like, holy shit!
I was like, there goes that fucking comedy. Like that's pretty funny. It's blew the shit out of Luke's.
I was like, that's pretty fucking dark.
I thought it was
man,
gonna
what are
be-
they gonna do now?
I thought it was gonna be a bunch of blood. And he was gonna like T-1000 himself back together.
Nice.
Like,
I was sitting there, I'm like, man, how badass is fucking Luke? Because I've been watching Clone Wars and all this stuff. So Jedis don't last through that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna show Luke being a fucking badass.
He
and Kylo's
had
just
a
gonna
little
go.
brushed it off his shoulder.
Yeah.
I was like fucking asshole. I just love where he's like, I think he's had what does he say?
He
Like,
says, "Do you think you got him?"
Yeah. I just love he's like,
Something
take me
like
down.
that.
And he slams him, and there's like going down. Like, see, that's good comedy. That was good.
That was Star Wars. That was Star Wars comedy.
Yeah.
And I think it's very, very, very hard to grasp the like C-3PO like kind of comedy they got in the original trilogy because I think that was accidental.
Yeah.
Some of it was, but that was nailing it right there.
I thought the other scene that a lot of people don't think is funny, but that I thought was funny was reach out. No, close your eyes, reach out.
That
was hilarious.
I thought that was funny.
I thought it was
I did think
funny.
that was funny.
You feel that? Yeah. Oh, wait.
You feel that tingle?
That's the Force. Oh yeah.
God damn, because that wasn't so Luke, but that was so Rey.
Yeah.
That was obviously so Rey because she's like reaching out and he's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I think...
I honestly feel like that's something Yoda did to Luke.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. That was Luke channeling his inner Yoda for
best he
sure.
could.
Which brings us to Yoda showing up.
I wish it was Obi-Wan. I wish so much it was Obi-Wan.
And Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan?
No.
No, I wish it was,
No,
honestly.
I don't care. I just wish it was Obi-Wan. I understand why it was Yoda.
Because Yoda was a dick.
No.
Well, Yoda probably also has a bigger importance to
yes.
Luke as his trainer.
Not
Well, when
I don't
like
know.
Luke goes to burn down the tree and he hesitates and Yoda's like, and he does it himself and starts laughing.
It's gotta be Yoda to end the order.
Yeah.
You can't have it. You can't have it be Obi-Wan.
No.
It's gotta be Yoda.
Obi-Wan to me always felt like, even though there was such a short amount of time between him and Luke, they had more of a connection than him and Yoda did.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt like that was a stronger connection. Yoda was more the like, okay, now here's how you do all the badass shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted it to be Yoda so bad. I wanted not Yoda.
Obi.
I wanted Obi-Wan to show up at some point, and he never did.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand why it was Yoda. And I was also glad there was practical effects for Yoda.
Yes.
I did like that.
Mm-hmm.
I
hated
appreciate
that.
I thought that was that was the one scene that I really thought, like this is Star Wars. It just felt right, like Luke conversing with. I don't know if people liked it or hated it, but it was one of my favorite scenes.
I think it's
personally
split.
didn't like it a whole lot, but I'm not as big of a Star Wars fan as I think most of you guys were. The lore, it felt very. I didn't think that fit in the lore of what I feel from watching the movies of like a ghost hitting him physically, hurting Luke with the stick and stuff like that. I don't know, because the only thing you ever see like is the Force ghost standing there,
smiling,
talking.
thumbs up, not fully conversing,
recognition.
pulling fucking lightning down. Like, I mean, if you can do that as a Force ghost, then you could be doing other things, and you're not actually dead.
Again, in extended universe stuff, there's some stuff that's a little more
but
expanded, but not in the movies.
If you go by the movies, it took me out. I didn't.
Well, there's the reason why every time that happens, they say, "If you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can ever imagine."
But all right, so guys, let's end it up on there. Like, how many jalapenos are you gonna give this movie?
32. Actually, let's go a full 44.
All right,
44 jalapenos
now
easily.
Give us your 1 out of 10.
I'll go
As
8.
far as Star Wars movies,
As far as Star Wars, 8.
All right, that's just a movie that you enjoy.
as just a movie, I'd probably
7.
do a 7.
All right.
Yeah.
Mike.
I'd say 7.
7.1.
Isn't Price is Right?
Yeah. As far as a Star Wars movie, though, I'd probably put it at 8. I put it tied with Force Awakens and Return of the Jedi for me.
Yeah.
I think for me, it goes Empire, A New Hope, Force Awakens. This one are both. It's going to be according to which one I see last, probably.
If I'm looking at Star Wars movies, like, it's probably blasphemy, but I think Force Awakens is my personal favorite out of all of them.
That's mine too.
And then this would definitely be, it's behind. I think Force Awakens was better. Like Force Awakens would be like a 9. This one was about like a 6 to 7. A 6.
Force Awakens
felt
felt a lot
again.
more cohesive.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's, I thought there's just certain things like the whole casino thing. I felt just was a wasted, boring.
It just needs cut down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It does need cut down because it was I thought it was very important to show.
I like the world that they were building.
Yeah.
When they first went, I was like, "This is really cool. We're getting to see these aliens." And like when they got arrested, I was like, "Cool, break out, be gone. Don't give me a fucking 15-minute chase scene."
I absolutely
with these,
agree with that.
And they
I
had
thought
to
it was
show-
important to see all these people getting fat off of the war efforts.
Yeah.
That's 2 minutes. That's not as long as
they
it
didn't need a whole.
Absolutely.
My favorite thing about the movie, or biggest surprise, I have to say, is how little those little what the fuck were
Porks. Porks were not horrible.
Fucking lightsabers.
My
Some
biggest
people.
surprise is that someone was going to eat one of the damn
Oh
things.
my god, I was so pissed it didn't happen.
I was
That's
I was
hilarious.
like, you know what, Chewbacca, you've already killed it and cooked it. You might as
You
well,
might as
fucking-
well enjoy it.
That was a pretty funny scene. Though they're all like, "Oh." Like, so,
I think it would have been much funnier if he had just taken a bite, staring at it
Yeah.
or something.
but I was very happy how little they were in the movie.
Well, and a little is fun, and the weird wolves.
Yeah.
Like
Those were kind of
little
cool
ice-
looking.
They were cool, but
and they served the purpose.
it
to the
wasn't
story.
like the Ewoks.
Yeah.
They didn't take
Yeah,
over the movie,
exactly.
which
we
was
still got
great.
well, Ewoks came out in the third one, so
No, I know. I'm just saying, like,
I don't think they're as merchandising hungry as George Lucas was because he walked.
well, I think they are. I think they're just getting smarter and knowing
They're
how
very
to
smart
do
about-
it
yeah.
with
they
also keeping fans
they're
happy.
not as on the nose about it as George Lucas is.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to put these motherfuckers in the entire movie. All right, guys. Well, that is pretty much sums up what we thought about The Last Jedi.
Yep.
Let's sum up what we think about 2017 when we come back.
Oh, yeah.
So, here we are. When you're listening to this, it'll be 2018.
Well.
But
Happy New Year, fuckers.
we're actually, this is how dedicated we're podcasting on New Year's Eve. So,
Yeah, that's right.
Happy New Year.
It's super
Because we
late,
have
guys.
so much more to do right now.
Yeah.
I got a bonfire to be sitting next to.
So
We'll
we have a
fucking leave.
big list of shit.
Maybe you can sit in it.
Some of this you'll care about. Some of this you won't.
I love you, Mike.
I think
Best
you're
album. That was my big surprise. I was like, man, I haven't listened to any New Year's
I haven't
new music
listened to
this
any
year.
new music this year, I don't think.
Anything that's really new. I mean, I'm sure I might have listened to one or two things.
I think we only had 2 people answer that one anyway.
Did I answer that one?
Yes, you and Mike.
I tried to, and it was from last year.
I listen to music a lot, but I don't ever follow new releases like a band.
I see it here. It's funny.
Yeah, I just realized Foo Fighters put a new album, and I haven't listened to it yet. So
It's not bad. Concrete and Gold.
yeah,
So what we'll do is we'll try our best to keep this quick and concise. Ray wants you to know every one of his answers.
yeah.
Well, I won't. I think
Ray wants to let you
everyone
know.
has their favorite podcast
There's
member. They
a
want to know what they
spreadsheet
think.
Of everyone's answers on here, so I think he does. He probably made that at work too.
No, I didn't. It's
Actually,
not like the spreadsheet I made where I wrote down all the money that movies make.
Spread cheeks. What?
I told Allison about that, and she got really sad
Okay.
that she married me.
All right, guys. So this is best of
That was the disappointment for
2017.
her.
Yeah, so this is our 2017 best of. Well, how are we doing this? We're gonna go category by category and let you know what each of us think.
Yes.
Yeah,
think.
do that.
Good.
We'll give a sentence or two about why we liked it,
Just
and
be quick,
Good
assholes.
moving on.
Yep.
My Nathan's already pissed because we're already over an hour. So
I think. Did you work
Blood
today?
rage. No, it didn't work today.
Okay, I'm the only one. So all right, we'll keep going.
All right.
all right.
Do we want to start at?
I'll start it off
Okay.
if you
All right.
want. Okay, so categories should be very close to last year. So best movie, I put Blade Runner 2049. I thought it was excellently it was just good overall. Great acting, great cinematography, great editing. I was amazed that it could be made this year.
Yeah, I also put Blade Runner 2049 because, like TJ said, I said earlier on the podcast when we talked about it, I'm surprised this movie could be made in 2017. And I don't think it did real well in the box offices, but it was a beautiful film. It was a beautiful film, and it felt. Again, another thing I said was it felt more Blade Runner than Blade Runner. So I really loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Mike?
I liked Guardians of the Galaxy too. It wasn't as pretentious as Blade Runner, but it was a lot of fun. I saw it 3 times in the theater, which is something I don't ever do.
Holy cow.
I've actually watched it 6 or 7 times this year, which I never do.
Yeah, I love that. I thought it was a great story. It was just entertaining all throughout. Yeah, it was a comic book movie. Was it Schindler's List? No. But it's what I enjoyed. So deal with it.
Chuck?
I went with The Dark Tower. Just because, the reason why I went best movie was there were a lot of great movies this year, but I legitimately
Chuck is answering
enjoyed the
everything
movie.
Ironically.
No, I enjoyed the movie, and fuck all you guys. The fact that I really want to read the series,
because Mike's back here dying, passed out in his chair.
I'm sorry, it's my opinion. I thought it was the best.
I was laughing.
Personally, for me, I thought it was the best movie of the year.
You being an asshole.
Because Ray earlier was like, it was just a movie. I'm like, fuck you.
I didn't say it was just a movie. I said it was a movie.
Yeah, so is Blade Runner 2049 a movie.
I love his
that's
comparison to Masters of the Universe.
All right, next category.
Have we done all of that one? Let's talk a little bit more about Dark Tower.
It's to the point where I want to get more into the world and I want to read the books. So that's why I chose it.
No, and those are supposed to be great
Number
great
2.
books.
Yes.
What was the consensus?
Consensus was Blade Runner wins.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
2 people
Ray,
majority vote.
Yeah, TJ.
What did
2
you
out of
pick,
5,
Nathan?
Mike.
I didn't choose the best movie.
Why?
I only watched the only movies that really stuck out that I could think about were comic book movies, and I know there's other movies that came out this year
Skull Island was good also.
that were better.
What was your favorite comic book movie then? Oh, we'll get on to that. We'll move on.
That's the next question.
All right, Nate. Best comic book movie.
Spider-Man: Homecoming was my favorite. Guardians was very up there, but I don't know, something about Michael Keaton being in there, and it was probably my favorite Spider-Man movie. Period.
Spider-Man has a special place in my heart. That was also my choice. Thought it was well done. It looked good. It was a great. They
good
finally had a
story.
movie where they had a person who could play a good Peter Parker and a good Spider-Man.
Yeah,
absolutely. I actually put down.
Everybody wants to talk now.
No, I agree. I thought Spider-Man was great, but my movie of the year for comic book movies was Guardians of the Galaxy because, like I just said, when you were talking about your movie of the year being Guardians of the Galaxy, I've watched it 6 or 7 times and I've enjoyed it every time. I watched Spider-Man twice and I loved it both times. But Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I just loved it. I thought it was great.
Chuck?
I went with Logan. Because from the time the trailer came out, I was like, this is going to be a sleeper. Not a lot of people, they're not going to pay attention to it. And I really fucking enjoyed it. And I thought this was
Logan was good.
The Logan that the Wolverine we should have gotten.
Best Wolverine movie by far.
So I just...
By far.
Well, I mean, just the representation of the character. That was what I wanted for Wolverine, and I got that.
TJ?
I put Star Wars.
God damn it, TJ.
And it's a comic book, bro.
It's not, though.
Oh, it's not. What is he reading on Marvel Unlimited?
Is from
the movie. I agree with Ray on this. I agree.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, he's not.
Matter.
He's not wrong. He's just an asshole.
Exactly. Yeah. This was one of those that, like, while I was driving today, I was thinking about our 2017s, and I'm like, you know what? There's going to be one asshole in the group that says Star Wars is their favorite comic book.
I look at a comic book movie as I couldn't name it nerd movie.
Yeah.
Because my best movie is not going to be a comic or nerd movie.
Yeah.
and that's why I look at this best comic movie as best what kind of nerd movie.
Gotcha.
So
Well, thank you for taking the rules and twisting them to how you want them to
Yes,
be,
I love it.
instead of just enjoying the spirit of the game.
Next
Okay.
up, I thought was actually pretty interesting because we all agreed
It's
on this
unanimous.
one, and it never happens. It was the best animated movie, Lego Batman.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've bought it
Also,
twice.
the
It
only one I
almost
saw.
feels
I'm
like
going to watch it.
it was more than a year ago
It was-
because it came out in February.
February this year.
Yeah.
It came out late 2016
it was
in February.
damn near
2017.
my best comic book movie.
Yeah.
it
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 was
was
so
really good.
close.
It was really good. Allison even loved it, and she hates animated films and
I got it
Batman.
from Marshall for his birthday, and I bought it for myself also.
Loves children's books, hates children's television.
Hates.
All right, best TV show. I went with Mindhunters, Netflix
Great
original.
show.
It was probably the best out of everything. Just a great acting, great story. Just good. It made me read a book. Like I read the book based off of it.
Gross.
I went with American Gods.
That was really
Again,
good.
this makes I love Neil Gaiman stuff, and I want to read this book, and I haven't yet. I own it and have for long before the show came out. This show was just twisted enough and weird enough, without going like way off the hinges, that I loved it. Ian McShane is. I love his
there's his
acting.
reason.
Yeah, no doubt.
No, that's a big one. He is an
It's the only
incredible
reason.
actor, and this show was so weird but such good quality. So
Mike,
Preacher.
Mm.
I thought it was great. It's super violent.
Hey.
no, he let the air hang out. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
Preacher.
Um,
All right,
was that your show of the year last year too?
I don't think he
I
had
don't
one last year.
remember.
Okay,
No.
No, he didn't watch a lot of TV
I think
last year.
I was off the
I
cuff
thought it
last
was
year.
Preacher
No.
last
I
year,
think
but
it's
maybe
made it up
not.
as I went.
Mine was a recommendation from Nathan. Atypical on Netflix.
that was a good show.
I thought it was really good. A lot of good acting. Pretty much the one where the boy's on the spectrum and he wants to have sex and start dating.
It was definitely one of my favorite. Of
Yeah,
the year.
it was a great show.
There were a lot of
And then
Shut up, Mike.
comparisons to yourself.
Maybe.
TJ.
Yes.
mine was Handmaid's Tale.
That was. I still haven't finished the last episode, and it's one of
Must
those
not be that
things.
good.
No, it's one of those things where like it was so good I didn't want to finish it, and then we've kind of just let it get
kind
away.
of in that. I'm kind
it
of in
was
that.
so good I stopped watching it. I know what you mean. I'm just being an asshole.
There's always an episode to watch.
We're really doing a good job at being assholes tonight, guys. I really want to commend everyone on your asshole.
Yeah, we're just
I
being
haven't been an
fucking
asshole
jerks,
yet.
dude.
I felt it was
Yeah,
a really
you're
good
fucking it up,
dystopian future.
Charles.
I know. I still have
I
time.
thought it was a really good dystopian future
No,
that they
I
showed.
love dystopian future. So
What show is it again?
We're living in one.
Handmaid's
That's
Tale.
the
that's
That's
not fun.
So
Mike.
no consensus on that one. No,
No, we
overall.
didn't have a solid one on that one.
It's okay. I was right.
What was yours
Mindhunters
again?
Best show of the year.
Mindhunters was great. but
Watch
it-
all 5 of our shows.
Yes.
All right. Best comic TV show?
again.
American
American
Gods.
Gods, not a comic
Well,
book show.
I
a
was-
comic book after the show came out.
I took TJ's thought process on this, and it felt
works,
like
man.
a
and you'll
show.
beat up TJ for the movie.
Well, no, I did say he's not wrong. He's just an
it's just
asshole.
an asshole.
It serves
True.
its purpose,
The
man. That's
asshole
all it
thing.
Yeah.
does.
And
And
I
I-
did just get finished saying how good we are at being assholes tonight.
And I
So-
am
Gotta
a
keep it
huge
going,
asshole.
baby.
So, American Gods.
No, it was great. It was my show of the year, so I agree.
Was it your comic book show?
It wasn't. It wasn't funny enough.
What was it? What was yours?
My comic book show of the year was Legion.
All right,
I knew
Mike,
that
what was
was
yours?
Legion from
be it.
FX.
Preacher.
It is so weird. And, oh gosh, I loved. It was such a mind fuck the whole time, but in
This
a really
list
good
is gonna
way.
take for fucking
so
hour.
That's why I'm just saying what I liked.
Yeah,
because
speed it up.
Ray wants to have a 5-minute
I
soliloquy
want people
about
to know.
every single answer.
People
We
want to
might-
know.
we might
Mike,
skip
We have a
some of this.
podcast where we tell people what we say.
This is going to be an hour by
Chuck.
itself.
Chuck.
Punisher.
Mine was Punisher as well.
Oh, Punisher then best.
Boom.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to answer best actor for TV? That was
Bernthal.
Yeah. I
John
put Bernthal.
Bernthal for me, buddy.
Bernthal, yeah.
Let me see what I put. I
You
don't
put
remember.
Andrew Lincoln
John
There
Bernthal.
you
Who's that?
go.
from The
Punisher.
Walking Dead.
From Punisher.
Shane.
Okay, I don't know actors' names.
Yeah. He did a really great job.
Yes.
Best actor.
I was not.
Wait, 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 wait,
I was
wait,
not
wait, wait.
surprised, or I was not looking forward to a Punisher season, and he pulled it off. It was really good.
Okay.
The fuck are you laughing
Best
at?
actor movie.
Ryan Gosling.
That's Mike.
What was Ryan Gosling on?
Blade Runner
God.
2049.
Your movie of the
My
year.
movie of the year.
You must have loved
Who's a
it.
Ryan Gosling?
He had very minimal dialogue in the movie, but still was able to convey just a lot of emotion through his eyes and his face. He's so dreamy.
I did
And that was one of the main reasons I thought he did a solid job.
No, he really
Gosling
did.
is very dreamy.
He really did.
I did Adam Driver.
I
for
did
Last
as well.
Jedi. I thought he was really good.
He did a great villain this year.
James McAvoy from Split. Just the amount of different personalities and characters he played was amazing.
I heard that movie.
I did Michael Keaton from Spider-Man because I felt
Kylo
he did
Ren.
a great job on that.
Adam
Driver, winner.
Best actress, I put nothing because I couldn't think of anything.
I put Ruth Negga from Preacher.
Oh,
nice.
for Best Actress TV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well in the second season. She played the mysterious lady that turned into a bug person.
Oh yeah.
Weird. I don't even remember that. I put Britt Marling. She was in the OA. That was a show we watched early last year from Netflix, and she was really good, and that was a really great show.
Chuck.
Bridget Lundy Payne. She played Casey in Atypical, the younger sister.
Oh yeah, she was
Did
good.
Elizabeth Moss from Handmaid's Tale.
I'm gonna agree with Chuck. So that girl got the best.
There you go.
She was really good.
She was good. She was extreme.
Best
Actress in the movie, Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot.
No, you didn't know. Wonder Woman was just played by Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I picked Daphne Keane from Logan X-23.
Yes,
I think she did a
I forgot about her.
fantastic
You
job.
mentioned her earlier.
Because I like Ray, but to a lesser extent, usually hate children actors, but
She was great.
she did a really good job.
Yeah, she did. Ray.
I put Carrie Fisher. She left us this year, and I
last
thought
year.
Last year, but her being in the Last Jedi and the way
Seal Carey.
come on now, come on.
Just because you're dead doesn't mean your acting's good.
I loved her in this as General Leia, and I thought she did a great job.
Organa.
I did Anna de Armas, who played Joy in Blade Runner. That was the holographic partner to Officer K. She was just really the most human character in the whole movie, I felt. She had a great arc, and
Chuck, did you do yours?
Yeah, Gal Gadot.
All right, Wonder
Gal
Woman wins it.
Yep.
All right, there we go with the best hero in TV. I went with Dylan Mackwell from American Vandals. He just was the hero that the world needed. Who drew the dicks?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine was Henry Winkler from the second season of Better Late Than Never. Because he's just so positive and wonderful in that show, and Shatner's such a
Now these are the
dickhead.
answers that we
I love
need.
Shatner.
I love Shatner too, but there was one scene like he's walking around and his like 85-year-old gut, the bottom of it's hanging out of his shirt, and Bradshaw's butt naked as usual. But Henry Winkler, nice guy.
All right.
Oh, I forgot all about that show.
Yeah.
Second season, they're in Europe. They're in Europe now.
Oh,
I
nice.
put Mr. Wednesday Ian McShane from American Gods. I don't know if he's a villain or a hero yet, but he's my
Ian
hero.
McShane.
He was good.
Yeah.
He was good.
Neither.
Chuck,
I went Ash from Ash vs. Evil Dead.
good choice. And TJ.
Punisher.
All right, we're going to knock these next couple ones out really quick. Best villain TV. Ray, go.
Wait, you skipped a few.
No, we didn't.
No, I didn't.
It's Best Hero TV.
movie?
No, not
Best
yet.
villain TV.
Yeah.
My thing's not.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Mike, what's
Negan
yours?
from Walking Dead.
Mine as well.
Mine is Grand Admiral Thrawn from Star Wars Rebels.
What'd you have, Nathan?
Nothing.
I had the
All right.
Night King.
Night King's good.
So Negan.
But,
Negan wins.
yeah, good job, Negan. Best hero in the movie.
Oh,
I put
boy.
Drax because I just loved him a lot in Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's got a really good story arc, but he's also just a smart ass.
Pretty much stole every scene. Ray?
I put Rey from Star Wars.
Okay.
I
Not
put
me.
Thor because he like Drax can walk the fine line between comedic and also fucking bringing the thunder to Led Zeppelin as well, looking badass.
You are not
Chuck,
kidding.
Now, are we doing Best Hero Comic or Best Hero Movie?
Best hero movie.
Okay, I had Roland Disc Chain. Because there's two different categories.
It's okay.
It's comic is comic book and best hero comic.
It's
Yeah.
all right. TJ, what was
I
yours?
went
Spider-Man.
comic movie.
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
All right, best villain in a movie, I put Kylo Ren.
The
Me too.
Vulture.
Vulture. All right, kill it.
I
Ray?
also put Kylo Ren.
Well, I read it wrong because I was going movie and comic movie, so I went Walter Paddock for villain movie. I did.
I thought you were going to say Walter Matthau.
All right, well, Kylo Ren wins it. All right, there's a bunch of comic questions no one cares about, and then we're going to go to
Best hero in a comic book.
All right, Ray, TJ, go ahead and get it out there.
Luke Skywalker.
Kitty Pryde, she has started leading the X-Men, and she's been really badass in it.
Best villain in a comic?
Darth Vader. It's Darth Vader's badass villain in these comic books.
I put Hydra Cap. I know a lot of people hated him. The internet fucking hated him, so I feel like he pulled a lot of hate this year.
So he was a good villain.
So he was a good villain.
Best comic event?
Didn't answer.
The only one that so I haven't read Metal, which everyone is raving about.
Yeah.
I haven't read, I didn't read The Button. I haven't been reading.
I thought The Button's current right now.
The Button's it's over.
No, Doomsday Clock's the new one.
Doomsday Clock's the new one. I haven't been reading that. But the other Marvel ones were kind of shitty. Sacred Empire, I thought was really good. The ending was a little lacking, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I know people hated, Hydra Cap and all that bullshit, but I thought it was good. I thought it was a good. There was a lot of good moments in there.
How about the best comic book this year?
Best comic book this year was definitely Mr. Miracle by King. King was the writer on that, and it. Oh gosh, I've been hearing people talk about it. I've been buying it, but I haven't been reading it. But then this was coming up, and I'm like, I need to give this a read because I don't have a solid. It's really, really good. So if you get a chance, read Mr. Miracle.
I put Darth Vader because it actually makes him a very good villain again.
Absolutely.
I had Darkhawk 51.
Have you read that?
Not yet.
Oh, come on!
Still.
You can't say that.
Yeah, I just did.
All right, best fight TV. I put when Rick destroyed the Citadel on Rick and Morty. No, it's a cartoon, but it was actually extremely good.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and do that one as well, because I put that was badass. Forgot about
That was a badass fight. All right.
The
Ray?
Defenders fight at Midland, that was the opening of the Defenders. I know a lot of people were meh on it, but I thought that fight was badass.
It was a good fight.
Yeah.
Chuck.
Punisher, the sledgehammer fight.
Okay, that was a good fight too. I put the fight in the woods with him and his homeboy, where they fought off the mercenaries in the woods and the Punisher.
All right, best fight, Rick and Morty destroying the Citadel. All right,
Rick and Morty.
Best fight movie.
See, I read these.
This one's damn near unanimous, but
Yeah, and I'm honestly kind of pissed that I didn't pick the same thing Mike picked, because he's right.
What'd you put, Mike?
Opening credits fight in Guardians of the Galaxy
that
2.
was really good.
That was a
If
good
nothing
fight.
else, that's one of the best scenes in a movie this year.
Yeah, I feel it was a great scene. Maybe not. I mean, it's a fight going on in the background, but that was a great scene.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful
I think
scene.
everybody else's Last Jedi is when Rey and Ben Swallow against the guards.
I had the kids versus it.
Yeah, he had
that's
something else.
Chuck is
Well-
off in fucking left field.
I hadn't
But
seen
yeah.
Star Wars at the time.
Yeah.
All right, well, the official.
So do you change your view, or is it still the same?
No, I still love
Still
that
the
fight.
So it doesn't matter if he hadn't seen
Exactly.
Star Wars at the time.
All right, our official answer is when Ben Swallow and Rey fight the Snow
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, best fight in a comic.
So in
I
Jean
didn't
Grey
s-
#2, this is kind of not a great.
I feel like all Ray's answers
See,
like there
I
was a
thought
bunch of
this
other
was-
cool shit, but
I thought it's best fight in a movie and best fight in a comic movie. That's how I was reading
This was
it.
my favorite fight in Jean Grey 2. She's worried that the Phoenix Force is coming back.
Jean Grey
so she,
2.
this is young Jean Grey, time displaced Jean Grey. She calls in. She goes to save Hope Summers, who's fighting these Reavers. She thinks that there's only one Reaver, and she helps her take it out, but there's hundreds of them. And she's also reached out to Rachel Summers, Quentin Quire, Colossus, Magic, and maybe another person that
Johnson.
I could beat HIV. I could beat anybody.
These are all people that had been possessed by the Phoenix before, and so there's all these badass telepaths, Phoenix people kicking Reaver ass, and it's really, really fun. So it was my favorite.
What did Vader do that was good?
Actually, in the comics that came out this year, he didn't have any fights.
All right, best toy. I put Hulkbuster.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Well, I put the Blitzway Ghostbusters, but
Yeah.
everybody else put Hulkbuster.
Yeah, I had Mike's Christmas
I
gift
actually-
or
I put-
Hulkbuster.
The Super NES Classic,
Yeah.
because we didn't really have a video game segment, which was weird,
Yeah.
but I played that some.
We'll be
Man,
Yeah, we'll be tweaking this
that
list
whole
for the
poster
future.
was just
Massive. It was amazing.
It was, yeah.
All right, best death in TV. The only one that really stuck out is when Harrison Wells. This was on Flash. I guess is when Flash ended this season, not the newest one that's going on right now.
Oh, season 3.
Yeah, where Harrison Wells dies, and it was actually Harry from the other world.
Oh, when he was Iris.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
it was last year, but dude, that fucking sucked.
That was I was pretty heartbroken. So that was my best death I saw this year. Anybody else? Ray?
Littlefinger.
Littlefinger.
From,
that
from
was
Game
That's
of
what those
Thrones.
two put.
Yeah.
Mike, did you have one?
That's my answer now.
Oh,
I forgot about it.
Because
I put Viserion, the dragon.
The dragon.
Yeah, I put that.
literally Littlefinger, I thought he was going to make it to the end, and that cockroach got squashed.
Yeah, because Littlefinger in the show, you're like, this motherfucker is going to weasel his old fucking way into the fucking throne. He's made, God damn him. And then fucking he didn't.
That
He
was
didn't.
that
He
was
got caught.
pretty.
He got caught
damn good.
in deceit, and it was fucking amazing.
Best death in a movie. I put Snoke's death. I thought it was really good.
I put Logan's.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I put Yondu. Yondu's funeral was, good God, guys.
That brought a tear. I'll be honest.
Absolutely.
My eyes got
Now,
sweaty
again,
for Yondu.
I got the categories mixed up, but what I had for best death of a movie, Merlin Kingsman 2.
I
Fucking
put Luke
spoiler.
Skywalker. I felt it was kind of the end of an era, so all of us have 5 different answers.
No,
there.
that's beautiful.
Well,
Best comic death.
The only one there were a few. Rick Jones from Secret Wars
Chris
was
Farley.
weird because Cap.
17
Rick
years ago was
Jones
still
is
too young.
Rick Jones is Captain America's best friend, and Hydra
Rick
Cap
Jones.
killed him. So there were a couple others,
Well, that's the best. Good
but
enough.
that was one of the bester ones.
Yeah.
Best movie trailer. I think Thor Ragnarok
Yep.
was the best this year.
I was like in Last Jedi. It walked a great line between not showing too much, but still getting you really intrigued.
It was that. Yeah, it was 50-50.
I was
for
very
me.
lackluster on the Last Jedi one. Like I know a lot of people like that.
Last Jedi. I was definitely Last
After
Jedi.
watching the movie, Last Jedi trailer kind of went up, but if I'm judging it by my reaction before the movie came out, it has to be Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Fucking Led Zeppelin gets let out. So, all right, so we got two Last Jedi and 3
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok.
All right, biggest surprise. The biggest surprise for me this year was actually how much everyone hated Last Jedi. General consensus that people did not like the movie, and that is just weird. I mean, Force Awakens was so loved, and then this one coming out, I was very, even after watching the movie, because like I said, I didn't think the movie was amazing. I thought it was a good movie. People
and it was
were
a
just
great Star Wars
hating
movie.
the
Yeah.
movie.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm just very surprised by that. It just blew me away.
It's popular to hate shit now.
It
right?
really is.
It
really
is. It is. But at the same time, when a movie's good, people do love it. And this movie had I think people are just, if the movie has issues, they just automatically decide to hate it instead of going, well, what did I hate about what
There's
I like
no
about
middle
it?
ground anymore.
Exactly.
There's not.
No one says it's a good movie. It's a piece of shit or it's the best movie ever.
Yeah.
I thought
Ray?
Ezra Miller and the Porgs, both of those I didn't hate. That was my biggest surprise. I thought I was going to hate Ezra Miller as the Flash, and I thought the Porgs were going to be annoying as fuck. But neither one of them were true.
Mike, your biggest surprise?
Wonder Woman. It was good.
Right?
Yeah, it was.
Chuck and I had the same answer.
yeah.
What was that?
Disney buying Fox.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was, to me, that was just kind of fucking left field.
Mm-hmm.
I did not. If you'd have asked me at the beginning of the year if Disney was going to buy Fox, I would just kind of laughed and like, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
And
We've been talking about, though, there were signs that it was coming.
there were some signs that they had kind of healed some disagreements towards the middle of this year.
And I
Back
thought
half.
I thought that all these like announcements of these new movies and this a multiple man movie and all that was signs that maybe something was going on.
I was thinking they were going to have more agreements, kind of like what
Like
they
Sony
did with
and Marvel
Yeah,
had.
I thought
Not-
something like that would be coming, not
Buying
buying
fucking
them
movie
outright.
rights.
So
all right, so biggest letdown, Ray?
It is for nerd. I did my one episode. I last year said I want to start my new podcast. It is for nerd. I fucking started it.
And that's
did
it.
one I did 2 episodes.
See,
But I'm working on the I'm
you
working
have
on
to
the
have
next
your
one.
expectations high to be let
I
down.
know, right.
Did you drop the Black Panther one?
No, I'm still working on the Black Panther one,
Jesus!
and I was going to try to get it out this week, and
A lot
guess
of
what?
research.
Didn't do it yet. So it is a lot of
Just
research.
read
but,
Wikipedia to everybody.
No,
Have you seen
come
Forrest
on.
Gump?
I want to do
All right, Mike.
Alien Covenant.
Really?
I didn't see. I didn't think it was going to be an Oscar winner going into it, but the type of logical decisions each of these characters made during the movie just pulled me out of it. Like, okay, so you have a group of space-trained colonists that are going to live on a different world by themselves, and you pick the 7 dumbest people I've ever met.
Yeah, and not
It's
even
still
go
better
to the
than Dark
planet they're
Tower.
supposed to go to.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, the Dark Tower was kind of a letdown, but at least the Dark Tower made for a movie, in my opinion. Alien Covenant was just a comedy of errors.
Yeah, and revealed too much of a backstory.
No, that's fine with me. Fuck the backstory. Yeah. I just wish they would have made the backstory, how they, set it up, and the movie was good. It wasn't. Yeah. It was terrible.
Chuck? I think I'm going to agree with Chuck's.
I would have changed my answer, but that's against the rules.
No, I want the one answer because it's the right answer.
One was the movie, but
no.
Can I go last then?
Fine.
All right.
Okay. Mine
but I'm going to have to read your answer because it's my
TJ, because you and me agree on
Jesus, come on.
Mine was fan responses to things.
Yes.
There's no middle ground on anything.
How are you let down by that?
I kind of... I don't know.
It's because it sinks lower every year.
It does.
It really does.
Sinks lower, and you expect some some random guys going, okay, this wasn't that great or something like that. No, I don't expect this is the best movie ever, this is the worst movie ever, and you have to be on one of these two sides. You can't be in the middle. No. You can't enjoy something that's not maybe 100% awesome or 100, and you can't just. I don't know. It really disappoints me the level that our fandom
gets.
They're just a bunch of bitches, man.
And I agree. In the same voice, I am often part of the problem.
Yeah.
Well, I think next year we should all make a Nerd Year's resolution to be really, really vocal about our thoughts on how mediocre everything is.
I was literally thinking I was going to finish.
Like with movies, I only had one that was a letdown for me, and that was
it was great.
The Mummy.
It was terrible.
No, I hated The Mummy.
It was okay.
I hated that one.
That's our movie.
But everything else was great.
All right, Chuckles.
Good to great.
In the year for us,
but
in
me
the
and
podcast,
Nathan, we agree on this, that Ground Chucks is still just a vision.
Guys, we're going to start a Patreon for Chuck.
Yes.
Ground Chuck.
And a Kickstarter.
And a GoFundMe.
We're
going to see some Chuck playing with Chuck Jr.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Or Chuck Jr. playing with Chuck Sr.
Still recruiting.
And we just buy. You know what? I would like to be talking this time next year, doing the podcast at Ground Chucks.
Yeah.
No, not even that. I want to be doing it around a butcher's block with meat on it.
Because
and a hot plate and a cast iron skillet.
Chuck never gets a day off. They'll be like, what do you mean you got time to podcast? Go fucking cut some more meat.
Are dozens and dozens of dollars of profit from investment.
Literally
in fact, Chuck, we could probably set him up the studio right there, and he could have his own meat-based podcasts.
Cutting with Chuck.
Come on, man. Cut with Chuck.
Oh, my God.
The butcher's block. Good. Right there.
I like cutting with Chuck.
They just write themselves.
Yeah, butcher's block. Cutting with Chuck right there, man.
But everybody, 2017 has been a great...
piece of shit.
Yeah, for the most part, but still it's been a great year.
Better than some years.
It was better than last year.
It's like everything else, guys. We just bitched about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. It was mediocre.
I don't know. For me, it was great.
Highlight. One of the highlights of the year.
TJ get married.
I got married.
That's
and
right.
that bachelor party.
Went to Europe. Had a kick-ass bachelor party. I've got...
Yeah, TJ did have a pretty good year.
TJ did pretty good.
I've got 4 of the greatest friends that I could have. I spend every week with.
Yeah, I was about to say, where are they at?
And
I'm with TJ on that, man.
I got a pretty good life going on.
Things are coming up, TJ.
Y'all pitch me out for a lot of stuff,
Is
but
there
I
a
know
B
y'all love it.
podcast I don't know about? Where you guys sit around and be friends with each other? Because I just hang out and I fucking hate you guys every Sunday. It's just like
It's not every Sunday. There's some Saturdays also game nights.
Keep getting roped into this bullshit.
After so many years of abuse, though, it kind of feels like friendship.
Yeah.
And now they want
Stockholm Syndrome.
Now they want extra days. Not Sunday's not good. Now we gotta have Saturdays to hang out with.
God, you're chewing it up.
My resolution next year is to see less of you assholes and go find a better group of friends.
Well, let's just remote in for the podcast. Then. Not even come hang out.
Yeah,
I will have to activate race phone.
I'll just start emailing
Not even FaceTime.
my script.
We'll just get 5 shitty phones and we'll call them and you can put them in front of each microphone.
Guys, this has been Nerds Get Laid.
This has also been 2017.
2017 and a wrap
And
up.
200 episodes wrapped up, baby.
In a bow. We hope you've enjoyed. Please, as always, respond to us. Talk to us online.
We're so lonely.
Yeah.
Give us your thoughts. You guys have been doing pretty good answering the questions, so thank you for that. But we hope that next year is just a quarter as good as TJ's was this year. You'll be doing all right.
Because no one deserves that much happiness in 1 year.
Thank you guys.
Next year we're going to do our Nerd Year's, or next week.
Next year, bro.
We're going to do our Nerd Year's resolutions. So
be ready
look
for that.
Yeah.
And yet again, thank you guys for being the constant listener.
Thank you, boners.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
everybody. 2017.
Bitches.
Later.
Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes is recorded at the illustrious Big Brown Record Town Studios in beautiful downtown Lake City. Episodes are published each Monday on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and Google Play. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Nerds Who Get Laid. We're at Nerds Who Get Laid on Twitter and Instagram. We're part of the Geeks World Wide podcast network. You can find reviews and articles we write at thegww.com. We're also part of the Modest Pod podcast network. We're on FloridaGeekscene.com and also WeBeGeeksPC.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. You can also check out the show notes for links about things we talked about in this episode. Thanks so much.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks Assemble!